Hey everybody, Derek back again, and I'm here to bring you another video for our Walking Dead countdown to the Season 5 premiere of Walking Dead. We are exactly 59 days away from our upcoming premiere. Getting really excited. We are really getting closer each and every day to this season premiere coming up on October 12th. Definitely something to look forward to. A lot of us are big Walking Dead fans, and it's always nice to know we're getting a day closer each and every day. So tonight what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my top 5 favorite female characters. Sometimes I feel like on The Walking Dead, there are times when it can become too much of a male-dominated series at times. When you have characters like Rick and Daryl and Glenn and Tyrese and now Abraham, and then you get Bob thrown in there as well. I think sometimes the male characters get a little bit more of a fan following, more favorites. They definitely seem to get more airtime at times. But one of the things that I feel The Walking Dead does a better job of doing now than it did in the early seasons is it really gives the female characters a chance to shine. I feel like they have all come a long way since the first season. I will never forget in the episode Tell It to the Frogs, when Jackie, Amy, Andrea, and Carol were all doing the laundry, and they were like, how come we're doing this, and Shane and Carl are over there, catching frogs, doing nonsense? And, and they talk about the gender roles, and I just think that Walking Dead has changed that. There are really no more gender roles on The Walking Dead anymore. These women have become fantastic, strong characters. They have definitely come a long way since then, and I really like how The Walking Dead has portrayed them as a strong female presence on the show. Because you need a good balance between the males and the females. You need to bring them to the forefront just as much, and I feel Walking Dead has done a great job of that so far. Because sometimes you find that on various shows, they have that problem where there's either not enough of a male presence or there's not enough of a female presence. And I feel like they've done a great job of balancing that out. So kudos, Walking Dead, in my opinion. I think you've done a very good job with that. And because of that, I have a lot of female characters that I really do like. And I'm going to list my top 5. First I want to do, though, is an honorable mentions for, I want to do them for Andrea, Lori, and Sasha. Because I feel like they are great characters. But one of the things that you find with particularly Lori is that you don't really get to see her later on. So, like, her development as a character didn't really go as far. She was kind of stuck in the same cycle. And I felt that, sometimes I wish they would have kept her alive longer, because I think that we could have seen a change in Lori, but we really didn't get to see a change. Now, I like Lori as a character. I really do. But I just think that there have been stronger and better characters introduced since then that have really just overshadowed Lori in many ways. And I feel the same thing happened with Andrea. Now, I am one of those fans who wishes that they would have stuck a little more to the comic book version of Andrea. I was a little disappointed that they didn't, and that they portrayed Andrea as more of a selfish person who, made poor decisions. And, I think that I wish she wouldn't have been in mourning for as long as she was with Amy. I understand people have to mourn, and that's fine, but I think that by them carrying it on as long as they did, it made Andrea appear weaker. And I kind of wish that they wouldn't have gone that route with her. But I still love Andrea as a character. I really do. And then Sasha, the one thing I find about Sasha is that I do like her, but she's not as developed as other characters are on the show. And she just doesn't have that thing that makes me be able to put her in a list like this, because I find that she really hasn't been developed enough, or she's not unique enough. And I don't mean to offend the actress, though. Sonequa Martin Green is an excellent actress, and I think that the writers need to do more for Sasha. They need to provide more opportunities for her to be explored, because I think once they do, I'll be able to give more of an opinion on Sasha. But I just feel like they focus too much on other characters that I really can't form too much of an opinion on Sasha, and it's unfortunate that I feel that way. So I really hope that if they don't kill Sasha off this season, that they really go a little bit farther with her character. Because I think that she deserves a lot more. I really think she does, and I hope they do that this season. So anyways, I'm going to get on to my top five. And number five, surprisingly maybe for some of you, it's actually going to be Lizzie. And the reason why I put Lizzie as number five was I just thought it was very interesting to have her as a character. She mirrors Ben from the comics, the son of Alan and Donna. And Ben has like similar qualities to her, but not exactly the same. And I think that what was interesting was seeing Lizzie's different perspective from the others. Because we all look at walkers and we think big scary creatures that are going to bite you and kill you, and you need to take them down before they get you. Everybody else feels that way, not Lizzie. Lizzie sees them as us changed. And I find that interesting because you could almost look at a walker in some ways from Lizzie's perspective as a metamorphosis of a human. You know, that they are still human, kind of, just different. And she's not wrong. And I think that, you know, if she wouldn't have gone about the way that she did, you might think that she actually has a very interesting point of perspective, which was similar to Herschel's. Herschel thought that these things were important enough to keep in a barn because they may come out of the sickness, or maybe there would be a cure. So Lizzie's not too far off from Herschel's early beliefs. Now, the only thing is that Lizzie doesn't think that they're ever going to come back. She finds them interesting, but I think that they did a nice job of balancing her out. You know, how she does have panic attacks and, you know, has to look at the flowers in order to calm down in certain respects. She, you know, she has those emotional sides, but then she just has this, like, interesting, like, sane, insane type of behavior. But I think that they did a good job with her story in the fourth season. She's never going to be forgotten by me. That's the thing. Some characters you easily forget about, and you know you're watching it as a repeat. You go, "Oh yeah, that character." Like, "Oh, I almost forgot about you." I'm not going to forget about Lizzie. They did a great job of establishing her as a character, and I really liked that. You know, and she definitely was one of the most shocking characters on the show. Like, you know, she had a lot of great scenes. Like, you know, like whenever she tried to smother Judith, whenever she was playing Ring Around the Rosie with the Walker. I mean, she just was a very unique and interesting character. And that's why I had to include her on the list. Honestly, that's why I had to. She's definitely great. And I think that they really did a good job with her storyline. Number four is going to be Beth Green. Now, Beth, you know, originally was kind of like Sasha in many respects. She had a scene here and a scene there, and you know, she had that small storyline whenever she lost her mother, who was a walker in the barn, and tried to kill herself. And you know, I just think that, but since then, Beth has become a very strong central character, and I really like how they brought more out of her these past two seasons. I think that she has a great moral outlook for the show. I think that she does a very good job of, you know, portraying herself in a more positive light. You know, she sees the good in things for the most part. You know, and especially I really love how they worked it out with her and Daryl in those two episodes whenever they were out in the woods, you know, by themselves, and how they showed their different impacts on each other. You know, that Beth can really bring out the better part of Daryl. And I really like seeing that. And I just think that Beth has grown a lot since those early days in the apocalypse. And I think that she definitely has a good nurturing side to her. But at the same time, she can also bring out the tough Beth now. She's not a scared little girl anymore. And she's made that clear. And I love that. And that I just love Beth. You know, even though I think that she may die this season, which is kind of sad, but I mean, I just think that they've done a lot with her character, and again, I don't want to see her fade into the background. She's a very good character, and I really, really do like her. And I would that's why she definitely has earned a spot, because she's grown, and I've enjoyed seeing that. Number 3 is going to be her sister, Maggie Green. And, the thing about Maggie is, I also feel like she's done some growing, but I think that she grew more earlier in the series than her sister did. Like, I remember that she kind of used to be like Beth. She was more scared of the walkers. She shared the same beliefs as her father, thought that they were going to, find the cure. But in the 3rd season, she really became a central part of the group and a warrior. I mean, she was going out there fighting on the front lines against the walkers. She definitely has a lot of heart in her. And I love seeing how the relationship with Glenn has made her a stronger, character. I don't think it's made her weaker in any ways. I don't mean, sometimes you look at a relationship in The Walking Dead and it can really inhibit the character, if they care more about that person. But I think that Maggie and Glenn are both strong characters, and they're able to still be tough, influential characters. And Maggie has just done a great job of maintaining that tough, composure throughout the 3rd and 4th seasons. And I really like how she stepped up and really had the belief to go out and look for Glenn. And I think it shows just how strong she is and just how influenced by her father she is. She has a lot of Herschel in her. I really think she does. And seeing her belief, that everything's going to work out, I just think that makes her a great character. You can definitely tell that she is the offspring of Herschel. She is a great character, and I really hope that she's in it for the long run, because I really, really like her. She should definitely be the leader of the Hilltop Colony in the Walking Dead TV show when we get to that point. I really hope they follow that storyline for her. Number 2 is going to be our own Carol Pelletier. Carol is just a great character. So much more now than when she used to be. And I'm going to give credit to a statement that was made by Trev from Trev's Chan 2. One time I was watching one of his videos, and he stated that he doesn't think that the Carol that we see in the TV show is the same Carol from the comics. I'm willing to agree with him on that, and I want to give him credit for stating that, because I never thought about that before. And that's sometimes why I maybe think that maybe the Lori and the Andrea that were in the comics weren't the same as the ones portrayed on TV, because Andrea is actually older on the TV show than she is in the comics. And I am willing to agree that that is true, that some of these characters are in the namesake and their, some of their personalities and some of their backgrounds. Yes, they're the same characters, but not exactly. And I'd even be willing to go so far and say that Herschel's not the same character, because Herschel's a lot more fierce, I think, in the comic series. And he never really becomes the moral compass because Dale's alive in the comics. So I think that Carol is definitely not the same woman. In the comics, she's a lot younger. She's very emotional. She has a tragedy happen after Tyrese has an affair with Michonne, and she tries to kill herself, and she never really bounces back from that. She's just always going through like these insane moments, and she eventually ends up basically feeding herself to a walker. That she basically just puts her neck out there, and the walker bites her. She lets it happen, and I don't think this is the same Carol. The Carol that we see now, the first 2 seasons, she had a lot of mourning, but I think that what that was the cocoon that basically helped form the Carol that we have today. Carol in season 3 started to step up. She really, starting with that scene when she suggested to Andrea, hey, sleep with the governor, give him the best night of his life, and then cut his throat. I saw that scene again, and I never realized it till now, Carol started forming these unique ideas and roles to step into early on. She had the ability to make those kind of decisions that no other person could make. Starting with the 3rd season, I never thought of that. But then once you see her go out and kill Karen and David, and later kill Lizzie, shows that she is just hardcore. Almost as hardcore as Michonne, I think. Because I don't know. I just don't think that Michonne would have the ability to do anything like that, which is good. I don't think every character should be that way, but you also need someone like that. And knowing that Carol is willing to step up and do things that not everybody else in the group has done shows just how great of a character she is. And I think they have done great things with her. They've done the character justice. I'm glad they didn't follow the comic series on her. Because if they would have, she would, I think we would have just been begging for the writers to kill her off if they would have gone comic Carol. I really think so. Because I was about tired of Carol in the comics. And I think that they really just have done a great job of her in the TV show. That's why I put her above Maggie and Beth. Because I think that she has had the most development of any female character. And I really like that. And I think she may die this season. But if she doesn't, I'm not going to be disappointed. I think she's earned her place in the series. And they may have more stories for her. I'm interested to see. And I think you've probably all guessed by now, my number one favorite female character is, of course, Michonne. Because you know something? There just isn't another character like Michonne. You love how tough she is. And I really think that this woman is tough as nails. And the fact that she was able to survive on her own for as long as she did shows just how much of a survivor she is and why she has a leg up on any other female character. Who would have ever thought that, cutting the arms off of walkers and, using them to shield yourself would have been something to do? I never would have thought of that. And, I just love seeing Michonne. She's still a character that's developing, in my opinion, and she's definitely come a long way. I remember the third season, she's kind of heartless except for her relationship with Andrea. But you see her hesitating to form connections with anybody else. How she's so suspicious of Woodbury, which she had the right to be. But I love how she's become more opened up ever since meeting Carl and, going out with him when they went to the Morganstown in Clear. Ever since then, I think that it's just been a great, great relationship between those two. And I really am anxious to see how they balance Michonne. Because I still think they're going to balance out that tough side of her. But I also think that they're going to definitely do a lot of other great things with the character that are really going to make her, a very strong influence on the show. I see Michonne there for the long run, and I'm really excited about that. She's a great character, and I really like having her. So those are my top 5 favorite characters that are females. And I want to thank everybody for watching, and I want to thank everybody that's subscribed. I really appreciate it, knowing that I'm able to give you guys information on The Walking Dead, give you guys some perspective. I love being able to do that for people because it is one of my favorite shows. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them. Feel free to suggest a video topic. I will give you credit for that. And I will give credit for any information that you give me that I find very intriguing and very unique. Not here to steal anybody's ideas. I'm just here to give my opinion and give my thoughts on what I think of The Walking Dead. I love the show, and I really am hoping that it's here for the long run. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very, very much. And I really hope that you have a wonderful evening today. Thank you.